What's up, guys? JC here with Wrong and Strong, and I got a story for you today. Uh, you know, after being in prison in Mexico for those 4 years and being transferred over, um, everything was like a movie. Even the whole exchange of inmates with Mexican army and American, all that stuff was like a movie. At the airport, El Paso. Then I was in jail there. I'm talking about when I got released from El Paso, Texas. I had to turn myself in Chicago for that shooting case, right? Um, they released me. I got on the Greyhound. I went back home, and as soon as I hit Chicago, I turned myself in. I didn't go on the run, nothing. I turned myself in. And what's crazy is that I had that pending case, uh, and I was looking at some time. It was an awful use of a weapon, felon possession of a weapon. It was a shooting. When I got in front of that judge, she looked at me like something was the matter. I know she was trying to figure out how a kid so young had just came back from doing, prison time in Mexico and, was still, I guess you could say, somewhat holding it together. And I'll never forget, her question was, how was I? And I was like, I'm fine. And my daughter, my firstborn daughter, that was actually made while I was in prison in Mexico, was born. And when I got to Chicago, she was a baby. I think she was about a year old. But it really impacted me the way the judge saw me, because she was concerned that I had been in prison in Mexico. I was such a young kid, and she did something that I didn't expect. She felt for me, she felt for me, what I had been through, everything, and she recommended me to go to the gang program. Chicago used to have this really big gang program. They made a movie about it called First Time Felon. And pretty much, if you're sentenced to 6 years, 7 years, I think 7 years was the max, you could get out in 6 months if you finish that program. She recommended the gang program, and after she sentenced me, she pulled me into her chambers. They cuffed me to the chair, and I thought, I don't know, I thought I was like getting indicted or something. I thought it was something really bad. They pulled me into her chambers, they cuffed me to the chair, and she let my daughter come in to meet me. And it was one of those moments, man, where like, I was crying. Just such a young kid. I think I was like 20 years old. I was crying, holding my daughter. She was like my firstborn. It was such a powerful moment that, it's crazy because in that moment I said, okay, I want to change, but I still wasn't ready, and I still didn't know how to. And it's moments like that that I remember now that I'm better, that make me realize like that life that I was living, just full of such pain and just so much bad stuff. But it was moments like that that made me keep going. That resilience kept making me get back up and back up. Hopefully through my storytelling, hopefully through the videos, this podcast, everything that we're doing through social media, these stories can be listened by someone that needs to hear it. So they see that, man, it's moments like that that make us get back up and try harder and try to do it. Even if we don't get it wrong. Get it right. I got it wrong most of my life. But there was a moment where I started to get it right. And I started to ride that wave. And that's when everything started to change. Because it takes time to actually learn to be better or to do what's right, even to tell the truth. I had to teach myself from scratch, crossing the street when it said walk, not making left turns, retracting back and telling, hey, that was a lie. Like, this is the truth. Even though that's embarrassing, but calling myself out on all those moments and really just it's how they say you should you should try and know what your triggers are. I knew that I had been this kind of person my whole life. So I wanted to change. I wanted to learn to tell the truth, to not commit a crime, to not be a drug addict, to all these things. So I had to learn from scratch and I had to like teach myself. Has it been easy? No. Hasn't been easy. Am I perfect? I try, but nah, you know, far from it. But what I do know is that today I'm a way better man than I was yesterday or the day before because every day I try just a little bit more to do better. I share my stories and I share everything. Like I told you guys in the past, never to glamorize. I don't glamorize nothing. I don't glamorize the streets. I don't glamorize the life that I had in Mexico. I don't glamorize none of that stuff. What I do glamorize is my change now, what I'm doing now, where I'm working, and who I'm helping. That's where I glamorize. But I don't know nothing. My name's JC. I am Wrong to Strong. Hey, subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment. Show us that you want us on air.